Narcissists will never admit regret openly. Their pride won't let them. But behind the mask, signs always slip through. Even if they act like they've moved on, subtle behaviors expose the truth. Losing you left a void they cannot fill. These undeniable proofs reveal their hidden regret, even when they desperately try to deny it. The first proof is obsession. After losing you, they can't stop checking on your life. They stalk your social media, ask mutual friends about you, or accidentally appear in places you visit. They pretend they don't care, but their constant need to monitor you is evidence that your absence unsettles them more than they'll ever admit. Their obsession isn't about love, it's about control. They want to know if you still think about them, if you're suffering, or if you've already replaced them. Each photo of your happiness, or sign of your peace, stings like a reminder that they lost the grip they once had. That sting is pure regret, hidden behind their curiosity. The second proof is anger. Narcissists hate losing, and rejection feels like defeat. They may lash out with cruel words, gossip, or smear campaigns. This anger isn't just bitterness, it's regret disguised as rage. If they truly didn't care, they wouldn't waste energy trying to damage you. Their fury is proof they can't stand losing you. Anger keeps them connected to you emotionally. They replay arguments in their head, rewriting the story to protect their ego. But no matter how much they twist it, the truth lingers. They lost you and it burns. Their anger is proof of regret, because if you were irrelevant, they would simply move on without a second thought. The third proof is their attempt to replace you too quickly. They may flaunt a new relationship, showing it off online as if they've upgraded. But this performance is hollow. Deep down, they're trying to convince themselves and you that they didn't lose anything. The speed and exaggeration reveal regret, proving they know they lost someone valuable. These quick replacements never last. The narcissist soon realizes no one provides the same level of devotion, empathy, or loyalty that you did. Every failed attempt at recreating what you gave them deepens their regret. They hide it behind a smile, but the cracks appear as their new relationships crumble under the same toxic patterns. The fourth proof is their attempts to hoover you back in. Suddenly, they may send nostalgic messages, act unusually kind, or apologize in ways they never did before. This isn't genuine change, it's regret. They want to undo the rejection, erase the pain of losing you, and restore the control they once had. Their hoovering screams of hidden regret. Even small gestures, like liking old photos or sending just checking on you messages, are signs of regret. Narcissists rarely revisit the past unless they feel its absence. By reaching out, they reveal the truth. Losing you left them unsettled. They may pretend it's casual, but every attempt is driven by quiet desperation. The fifth proof is their silent envy. When they see you thriving without them, it destroys the illusion of being unforgettable. They may not say it aloud, but every sign of your success or joy triggers regret. In their mind, you were supposed to remain broken without them. Your happiness proves them wrong, and that realization cuts deep. They may try to downplay your progress, mocking your achievements or acting unimpressed, but their words reveal jealousy. They regret losing the spotlight of your devotion and the pride of being attached to you. Every attempt to minimize your growth is a confession in disguise. They see your strength, and it reminds them of their failure. Another sign is when they keep bringing your name into conversations. Even while pretending to move on, they can't resist referencing you. Friends, family, even new partners hear about you repeatedly. Their inability to let go is regret showing itself. If they truly didn't care, they wouldn't keep you alive in their stories. They also rewrite history. They may tell others you were obsessed, unstable, or impossible to satisfy. This rewriting isn't confidence, it's defense. By changing the story, they try to hide regret behind lies, but the very act of rewriting proves they still think about you, and that constant thought is born from regret. Their regret becomes most obvious when they face failure. During lonely nights, unsuccessful relationships, or public embarrassments, they often think of you. They remember how you once provided stability and admiration. In those quiet moments, the mask drops. Regret surfaces, even if only privately, reminding them of the love they destroyed. Sometimes, they test the waters with small provocations, a random message, a sudden compliment, or even an insult meant to spark reaction. This behavior isn't random, it's proof of regret. They want to know if you still care, if they can still affect you. Every attempt to reconnect, even through conflict, shows they regret losing their influence. You may notice them copying your lifestyle or interests after you're gone. Narcissists often mirror people they admire, and when they regret losing you, they cling to your influence. By imitating you, they feel closer, even in absence. It's a hidden admission that you mattered more than they're willing to admit. Regret also appears in their loneliness. Narcissists move quickly from person to person, but after the rush fades, the emptiness grows. When distractions fail, memories of you return. They recall your patience, your care, and your devotion. The realization that they may never find that again becomes a haunting regret they cannot escape. Their envy becomes clearer when they criticize you publicly while secretly watching everything you do. They may dismiss your progress, but behind closed doors, they track every step. This contradiction is proof. They regret losing someone whose growth now shines brighter without them. Their criticism is a mask for the envy regret brings. Sometimes, they appear indifferent, but silence can also signal regret. When they disappear, it's often because they're overwhelmed by the loss, but too proud to admit it. They choose distance, rather than face the shame of missing you. That silence isn't freedom, it's avoidance, and beneath it lies regret they cannot voice. Another undeniable proof is their inability to replace the way you made them feel. No matter how many admirers they find, none provide the same unconditional care. They realize too late that empathy like yours is rare. This recognition fuels their hidden regret, because deep down they know they let go of something they'll never experience again. Even their body language betrays regret. When you encounter them, they may avoid eye contact, fidget, or act overly confident. These extremes reveal discomfort. They're trying to mask regret with performance. But the effort itself is proof. They wouldn't try so hard if they truly felt nothing. Their regret also reveals itself through timing. Months, even years later, they may reappear suddenly. This isn't random. It's when loneliness catches up and the memory of you feels stronger than their pride. Their return is a confession without words. Losing you left an emptiness they cannot fill. They might talk negatively about relationships in general after losing you. Bitterness becomes their language. They'll claim love is a scam, or people are untrustworthy. But this cynicism often hides regret. They project their loss outward, refusing to admit the real truth. They destroyed something valuable, and now they regret it. Regret also appears in their constant need to prove they're happy. If someone truly moves on, they live quietly. But narcissists flaunt everything, heroic or exaggerating achievements. The performance screams insecurity. Their loud declarations of happiness are attempts to convince themselves and you that rejection didn't hurt, but the noise itself is proof of regret. They also try to provoke jealousy, posting staged photos with new partners or bragging about fake adventures. They hope you'll react, but this effort is fueled by regret. If they truly didn't miss you, they wouldn't try so hard to get your attention. Every stage display is proof that losing you unsettled them deeply. A major proof of regret is when they constantly compare others to you. Even in new relationships, they slip and mention your qualities, whether in admiration or criticism. They may tell others you were too much or not enough, but the fact that your name lingers proves you still haunt them. This comparison reveals their hidden longing and regret, as no one else measures up to what they once had and lost. Narcissists reveal regret when they can't let go of shared memories. They may bring up old jokes, songs, or places that connect back to you. Even when they pretend these memories don't matter, they revisit them privately. It's their way of holding on to a time when you gave them admiration and love. Every recollection is a reminder of what slipped away, fueling their hidden regret. Sometimes, regret appears as competitiveness. If they see you succeeding, they suddenly work harder to outshine you. They want to prove they're still superior, But this reaction exposes the opposite. Their need to compete reveals you still matter to them. Your progress reminds them of what they lost, and rather than admit regret, they try to mask it through rivalry. Regret also shows in the way they shift blame. They'll claim you were ungrateful or impossible to please, yet their words are defensive. Deep inside, they know the truth. They were the ones who ruined the connection. By projecting fault onto you, they hope to hide from their regret, but the energy spent blaming is itself proof they still feel the sting of losing you. Their regret surfaces when they exaggerate how happy they are without you. They overcompensate, telling everyone they're thriving, often in ways that sound unnatural. Genuine peace doesn't need a stage, but their constant boasting gives them away. The more they proclaim their joy, the clearer it becomes. They're trying to silence regret that keeps whispering inside them. Narcissists sometimes regret losing you most during quiet moments. When the distractions fade and no one is watching, they feel the emptiness your absence left. They remember your kindness, your patience, and your support. Though they'd never admit it, those moments of silence torment them. Regret creeps in during the solitude they cannot escape, reminding them of their failure. Proof of regret can be seen in their repeated attempts to return. They circle back months or years later, testing your boundaries with small gestures or sudden apologies. Even if disguised as casual, these attempts are fueled by regret. They hope to reopen a door that's already closed. Each return reveals they never truly let go and still crave your presence. Narcissists regret most when they see you happy without them. They believed you would always need them, but your independence shatters that illusion. Watching you laugh, grow, and thrive without their shadow is unbearable. They envy your freedom and regret losing the person who once gave them validation. Your joy becomes the mirror that reflects their failure. Sometimes regret is disguised as bitterness. They may criticize you harshly, telling others you were toxic or impossible. But bitterness is just another mask. If they truly didn't care, they wouldn't speak of you at all. Their harsh words betray the regret inside. They lash out not because they're free, but because your absence still lingers painfully. Proof also shows in their curiosity about your love life. They desperately want to know if you've moved on, if someone else now holds your heart. Their interest isn't concern, it's regret. Knowing they've been replaced confirms what they fear most. They lost someone valuable. Their need to keep tabs on your relationships exposes the depth of their hidden sorrow. Their regret deepens when they fail to recreate what you gave them. New admirers may flatter them, but none match your depth of empathy. Every shallow connection reminds them of what they lost. They may not admit it, but disappointment fuels their regret. They realize too late that what they dismissed as ordinary was extraordinary, and now it's gone forever. Sometimes, their regret appears in sudden hostility. They may lash out at you seemingly without reason, triggered by their own memories. This anger isn't about hatred, it's regret twisted into rage. They resent that you slipped away, that you no longer feed their ego. Their hostility is proof they still care, because indifference would require no reaction at all. They also reveal regret when they mimic your lifestyle after separation. Adopting your habits, phrases, or interests is their way of staying connected. It's an unconscious admission that you influenced them deeply. Even as they deny your importance, their actions prove regret. Mimicry becomes a quiet echo of the bond they lost but cannot replace. The way they talk about you over time reveals regret. If years pass and your name still surfaces, it means you remain unforgettable to them. Even negative mentions prove they can't let go. The more they try to erase you from their narrative, the clearer it becomes that you left an imprint. That imprint is regret disguised as memory. Their regret intensifies when they realize they can't undo the past. No matter how many times they circle back, you may no longer be available. The door they once assumed was always open is now locked. This finality terrifies them. It forces them to live with regret, knowing the chance to control you again is permanently gone. Narcissists also regret when they feel the sting of comparison. Seeing you with someone who treats you better reminds them of their failure. They can't stand watching you receive the love they withheld. Deep down, they know they lost because of their actions. Regret grows heavier when someone else gives you the care they refuse to provide. At times, their regret drives them to self-pity. They'll frame themselves as the victim of abandonment, hoping to gain sympathy. But this act reveals regret. If they didn't care, they wouldn't need pity. Their self-pity is a disguised confession, proof they feel the loss and want others to soothe their wounded pride by comforting their ego. They may even regret financially or socially, realizing the support you once gave is gone. Without your stability, they face struggles they never anticipated. In those moments, regret hits hard. They remember how much easier life was with you by their side, and though pride won't let them admit it, the loss gnaws at them deeply. The regret becomes clearest in their inability to forget. You remain a benchmark in their mind, whether they compare others to you, obsess over your progress, or secretly envy your peace. They may claim indifference, but their actions betray them. Forgetting would mean freedom, but instead, they carry regret like a shadow they cannot escape. They may attempt to mask regret with arrogance, insisting they could win you back any time. But this is just ego protecting itself. If they truly believed that, they wouldn't keep testing boundaries or trying to provoke you. Their arrogance is a shield, hiding regret that grows every time you ignore their attempts and live freely. Proof also comes in their timing. Narcissists often return during vulnerable moments, holidays, birthdays, or times of change. They use these moments to slip back, fueled by regret. They believe they can exploit nostalgia to regain control, but their very return, at calculated times, exposes their hidden regret and their inability to move on completely. Their regret shows in the double life they lead. Outwardly they pretend to thrive, but privately they obsess. They may confide in close allies about missing you, even as they publicly deny it. This contradiction is proof enough. No one hides something they don't feel. The duality reveals that regret lives beneath every layer of their pride. The more they protest that they don't care, the stronger the regret truly is. Indifference doesn't require explanation, but when narcissists go out of their way to declare they've moved on, they expose themselves. Their over-explanation is an undeniable sign. It proves regret lingers, no matter how much they try to bury it under words. Even their future relationships carry the mark of regret. They push new partners harder, expecting them to match your devotion, but no one can replace you, and that reality fuels frustration. Each failure in love reminds them of you, and though they'd never confess, that memory burns quietly as regret, echoing in the corners of their mind. So, while narcissists may never say the words, their regret is undeniable. It leaks through obsession, anger, envy, and constant attempts to reconnect. Their pride hides the truth, but their actions tell the story. Losing you is a scar they can't erase, and no matter how many masks they wear, regret is the shadow that always follows them.